All right, how you doing? We've made it to another day of grace and mercy. Welcome to the Mike Prince Show here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, coming to you each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here. And I promise you, as long as I have breath in my body, we're going to continue to do that. You can follow me on Twitter at Radio Guy. Instagram is Radio Guy 22. The website is obn-radio.com. Don't forget, if you're in the Prairie View community, you can always check us out at 87.9 FM. If you're on the go, dial 605-477-5066. And you can even find us on TuneIn at Open Mic Broadcast Network. And without any further ado, let us join today's episode. I told you on yesterday that I had a clip that I want to share with you, and a dynamic clip it is. It is, of course, from our illustrious president, Dr. Ruth Simmons. She was on a talk show, Frank Bruni's talk show. He is a New York Times columnist and a CNN contributor as well as an author. And he was talking with Ruth Simmons about how people can regain trust in the universities across the land. But of course, in our particular case, that on the HBCU level. This clip is only 36 seconds, but it is dynamic and very, very boisterous if you take the time to truly hear what is being said. I'm going to play this clip, let you listen, and we'll come back and see how all this ties in to what we talk about here on the Mike Prince Show.
We talk about inclusiveness all the time, but we don't really mean it. When we say inclusion, we mean inclusion if you agree with me and if you believe in the same things. But we are so diverse and we believe in a lot of different things, some of which are admittedly pretty heinous things, but still we're part of the human family. And the trick for us in higher education is to figure out a way to promote the values that we believe in, the standards that we know to be important, and at the same time make people feel included in that.
Once again, that was Dr. Ruth Simmons from Prairie View A&M University talking about how universities can prove their worth and regain the public's trust. Now, there were some quotes, I think 3 or 4 of them, that I want to pull from that 36 seconds that were just powerful, in my humble opinion. But I want us to understand something real good that I've learned about leadership. Now, I don't talk about myself a whole lot because even though the show is called The Mike Prince Show, it's not about Mike Prince. It's about my love for Prairie View, my love for the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and my love for us being as transparent as possible. But let me give you a brief background on my qualifications for leadership. I have been elected to my 4th term as a board trustee for Waller Independent School District. I was just sworn in May 2018 for my 4th term. And if the Lord allows me to live through this term, that will be 12 years of service. I have served in an administrative position for Tomball ISD for 5 years. I have served as a district executive for Boy Scouts of America for 5 years. I've owned and operated Prodigy Pest Control for 17 years. I've owned and operated Open Mic Broadcast Network for 18 years. I've served as mission president for the Texas Southwest Jurisdiction Church of God in Christ for 6 years. I've served as a district youth leader for over 15 years. I currently serve as a pastor since 2005. So I understand the diversities and the complexities that come with leadership. I've also been involved with athletics all my life. So I'm not a novice per se when it comes to leadership. And leadership is leadership. No matter where you go, no matter how you size it up, it all boils down to, do you know how to get a group of people to collectively come together to get from point A to point B? And what I heard from Dr. Ruth Simmons was absolutely masterful. Let me try to translate how this spills over into athletics. One thing that is a common denominator for universities across the board is a desire to grow. If you grow, your revenue increases. Your revenue increases, you're able to do more things. It's really that simple. In most cases, people struggle with how athletics fit with my growth plan. If you have a consistent, competitive product on the athletic level, you bump up the chances of increasing your enrollment. Research has proven that. That's why they spend the money that they spend in athletics, hoping to get a return on their investment. Now, let me break this down a little bit further. On the high school level, there are 3 key components, whether you like it or not, that will guarantee you the direction of your entire school district. That is the superintendent, the high school principal, and the head football coach. I guarantee you, on the collegiate level, the 3 key components are the president, the athletic director, and the head football coach. Those 3 figures will have people have an immediate impact on what they think about your university. And if you miss the mark on that, you have to go back to the drawing board to reinvent your entire image. Why am I even talking about all this? That 36-second clip that we heard from Dr. Ruth Simmons said a mouthful. The first thing I wanted to focus on, she says, and I quote, "We talk about inclusiveness, but we don't really mean it." When you sit back and digest that, that's powerful. We say what we know is politically correct, but our hearts are far from what we're saying. Our actions are far from what we're saying. It's that simple. We say one thing, but we mean or do a totally different. There's another quote, and I quote, "We say inclusion only if you agree with me." Leadership thrives off diversity. Leadership becomes successful off of diversity. If everybody are being bobbleheads and saying yes, 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 when told to say yes, we become counterproductive. Someone has to be able to see what could possibly go wrong. It could be a brilliant idea, but not all ideas are foolproof. So you have to have reverse in your program. Or if it's all about what you say, all about what you do, no one challenges you, that is not a democracy. That is a dictatorship. And if we want to be under the regime of a dictatorship, then declare that and move on as business as usual. But the moment someone agrees to disagree with you, don't alienate that person because they might think or see things a little bit different. Let's reason together and come to an understanding of how that person even got that way and see if their way even makes sense. Just because it doesn't sound right to you, you never thought of it that way, don't shoot it down because it was not your idea. The next quote, but we are so diverse that we believe in a lot of different things. As I stated earlier, diversity is the key. The word university alone comes from the root universe. Do I need to explain that one even further? So just because someone will think a little bit different than you, just because someone will speak different than you, doesn't mean they're out to sabotage you, doesn't mean that they have an ought against you, just means that they see things differently than you see them. Instead of coming up with your own assumptions, go to the source. And if the source proves to be unjustifiable, then draw your conclusion that way. But don't assume something because you don't understand what's being said or you disagree with what's being said. It's called a democracy. Here's the quote of all quotes. The trick for us in higher education is to figure out a way to promote the values that we believe in, the standards that we know to be important, and at the same time, make people feel included in that. Translation. We're going to have to learn how to agree to disagree. Stop taking stuff personal and look for the facts. And if the facts happen to hit you or I in the mouth, we say, ooh, adjust and move forward. Accountability and responsibility is a two-way street. And we must be accountable and responsible to each other. I'm saying all that to say this. We have an opportunity to fill some key leadership roles when it comes to athletics. Let us take the advice of our president, Dr. Ruth Simmons. I know it might sound a bit out the box, might even be challenging for some of us. Don't you believe it's worth the try? Don't you believe it's worth the adjustment? PV Nation, who you rooting for? I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Follow me on Twitter at Radio Guy. Instagram is Radio Guy 22. And the website is obn-radio.com. Until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.